Gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Along with that announcement, the 69-year-old Trump released his net worth today, about $9 billion with a B dollars. He spoke for the better part of an hour, basically saying that current politicians are wimps who will never solve the intense problems America currently has. Trump says he can solve them. Now, I've known the man for almost 30 years, have done some business with his jet fleet, and occasionally we go to sporting events together. So he wanted his first post-announcement interview to be on The Factor. Good for us. Here it is. So this is like the lightning round here. You just tell me how you're going to solve these problems. ISIS. How are you going to defeat ISIS?
I would hit them so hard. I would find our proper general. I would find the Patton or the MacArthur. I would hit them so hard your head would spin. Now remember, and I sent you the document, I said in 2004 we should not go in and do that whole thing with Iraq. It was a disaster because I said that Iran will take over and it'll totally destabilize the Middle East. But there's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
Are you telling me you're going to send American ground troops into Syria?
I'm not telling you anything. And the reason I'm not is because if I run and I win, I don't want them to know the game plan.
Okay.
Let me
but
just
you
say
have
something.
to, if
Bill,
you want to hit them hard,
I'm probably going to have to say I have a way that would be very effective with respect to ISIS. But when I watch Obama get up and talk about in 2 weeks we're doing this and in 3 weeks we're doing that.
Put American ground troops in to chase them around?
Take back the oil. Once you go over and take back that oil, they have nothing.
But how do you take it back?
Right, you have to go in. You have to go in.
With ground troops?
Well, you bomb the hell out of them, and then you encircle it, and then you go in, and you let Mobil go in, and you let our great oil companies go in. Right. Once you take that oil, they have nothing left.
You're going to have unintended consequences. You're going to have Iraq not wanting you to do this, Syria not wanting you to do that.
There is no Iraq.
All right, so you don't respect them.
I don't have any respect for them, no.
All right, so they're out.
I don't respect...
Syria? Are you going to violate their territory?
You know, interestingly, Syria is supposed to be our enemy. Iran and Russia are protecting Syria. And it's sort of amazing that we're in there fighting ISIS in Syria, so we're helping the head of Syria, who is not supposed to be our friend, although he looks a lot better than some of our so-called friends. It's really rather amazing. Maybe Syria should be a free zone for ISIS. Let them fight, and then you pick up the remnants.
All right. But in order to defeat ISIS, you're going to have to invade Syria. There's no way you can defeat them without invading. And I guess you're willing to do that.
I disagree. I say that you can defeat ISIS by taking their wealth.
All right.
Their wealth is the oil.
You mentioned Iran. Would you make the nuke deal with Iran? I mean, they're obviously playing games.
I would make a deal, but I wouldn't make that deal. That deal allows them to do practically whatever they want. The inspections are going to be a disaster. If we look, and if you look at what's going on with this lack of negotiation right now, as sure as you're sitting there, Iran is doing nuclear. They're going nuclear.
So what do you do with that?
You've got to either make a deal. Personally, I'd put on the sanctions big league. I'd double and triple up the sanctions and make a deal from strength. Look, the biggest problem that the world has right now is nuclear weapons. Global warming is not our big problem. Our big problem is the maniacs that are controlling weaponry that has never been like it is today. It's very important to make nuclear deals, but you have to make them from strength, not from weakness. And once they have the weapon, it's all off. Then we don't have the strength anymore.
The problem with the sanctions is that you're not going to get cooperation from Germany and these other countries.
Well, you have to get them. That's what leadership is all about. You have to get them to work with us. You have Obama that wants to play golf instead of deal with people. You know, part of being a leader is to get everybody in line.
And you think you could convince?
Yes, I think I could. That's what I've done. I've made a fortune with foreign countries.
Putin, what do you do to Putin?
Well, Putin has no respect for our president whatsoever. He's got a tremendous popularity in Russia. They love what he's doing. They love what he represents. So we have a president who is absolutely, you look at him, the chemistry is so bad between those two people. I was over in Moscow 2 years ago. And I will tell you, you can get along with those people and get along with them well. You can make deals with those people. Obama can't. He's not.
So you could make a deal with Putin to stop his expansion?
I would be willing to bet I would have a great relationship with Putin. It's about leadership.
Based on what? You're two macho guys?
No.
I mean,
based on a feel. Okay, you know, deals are people.
You sound like George W. Bush. He looked into his soul and said he was a good guy. Come on.
Bush didn't have the IQ.
You know what I'm picking up from this? You'd buy Putin. You'd buy him off.
I wouldn't buy him. I wouldn't buy him at all. I would be able to get along, in my opinion, with Putin. Now, it's possible not. I'm not saying 100%, but I think I would have a very good relationship with Putin.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, it's actually important for this country to do that. You can't have everybody hating you. The whole world hates us. And one of the things that I heard for years and years, never drive Russia and China together. And Obama has done that.
Okay. I actually laughed when you said that you're going to build this giant wall from San Diego to Brownsville and the Mexicans are going to pay for it. The Mexicans aren't going to pay for the wall.
Let me tell you, the Mexicans are the new China. What they're doing to this country...
They're not going to pay for the wall.
You have to let me handle that, okay?
Well, tell me how you're going to make them pay for the wall.
Because they are ripping us so badly.
Okay.
The deals... No, I'll tell you how.
Tell me.
Because I'll cut off all... I'll start charging for their product coming into this country. Mexico is living off the United States.
So you try to strangle them economically unless they pay for the wall?
They will pay for the wall. And the wall will go up. And Mexico will start behaving. Mexico is not our friend.
Or you'll break them economically.
I will do something that they will not be thrilled.
All right. Chinese hacked into our federal government system. What do you do to them for that?
Well, you're going to have to do something with China economically also. China, the power we have is that we have rebuilt China. They have taken our jobs. They've taken our manufacturing. They've taken everything from us. They've taken money. Do you know that right now we owe China $1.3 trillion? Yeah. We're paying them interest.
What do you do to China?
What you do to China is you say, if you don't behave, we're going to have to start taxing your goods coming into this country.
A tariff.
They charge us tariffs. We don't charge them because we're stupid. They charge us. And the largest bank in the world is right under this floor.
Now, you realize
From
Congress
China.
is going to have to okay all this. They're
We'll
going to have to okay you destroying Mexico. They're going to have to okay you putting a tariff on China.
Bill.
You really think you're going to get it through?
Absolutely. I've been dealing with politicians all my life.
They're going to fold under you?
They're not fold. They're going to make those. That's what they do, Bill.
So just like Putin, you're going to make him your friend. You're going to be able to make Congress your friend, too, you think?
I think so. Absolutely.
Right.
I think so.
All right. Now let's turn to domestic issues. The reason that we have income inequality, while you make an enormous amount of money and other people don't, is because you're very well educated. You look out your window here at Trump Tower, you look over to Harlem, you got kids who don't know anything with bad parents in terrible public schools.
Big problem.
How are you going to fix it?
Big problem. The African-American kids are in worse shape now than they've ever been, and we have a black president. This was not supposed to happen. You have to create incentives for people to work. You have to create jobs. We have to create the kind of an economy where people can go out and work, where they're making more money than sitting back and doing nothing.
But that's the federal government creation. You know, you got to get the private sector to do that.
You can stimulate through incentives. You can do tax-free zones.
But to make the kids learn in school, what incentive are you going to get?
Well, you know, you've been saying it for what you need parents. Nothing like parents, okay? Nothing like parents.
Can't mandate good parenting?
It's a huge problem. I would sit down with the best and the brightest. I also happen to think it's one of the most difficult problems that we have. But we have a president that, in theory, should have been focused on this, and I'm sure he cares about it, but he certainly did a poor job. Because if you're an African-American youth right now, you're in worse shape than you practically ever were in the history of this country.
The culture is driving that.
It's a tough culture.
Hillary Clinton, first woman president. War on women. You're gonna walk right into that?
Well, I laugh when I see it. I was watching her talking about income inequality. That can be beaten. That can be beaten very. All you have to do is take a look at her donor list.
But if you attack her, you're going to be anti-women.
It's all right, and that's you know what? And maybe I don't win for that reason, but maybe I do.
Final question: your Republican rivals, they're going to come after you. You know.
It's okay.
You don't really take criticism all that well. You lash back.
Yeah, I lash back.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I lash back? You know?
Well, now the president is supposed to have some kind of elevation, you know, where you have to overlook some things. You're not real good at that.
Well, I get things done better than anybody.
All right. Are you going to slash and burn through this Republican field?
Well, I don't have a lot of respect for many of them, and I can tell you.
Anybody you respect?
No, I don't want to say that, but yes, I do a couple. But I will tell you, I've been dealing with politicians all my life. They are all talk, no action, never going to get done. They're controlled by the lobbyists. They're controlled by donors, and they're controlled by special interests. When I tell somebody to do something, I'm not going to get a lobbyist calling me the next day, say, please don't do that, even though it's good for America.
You got to go through.
You're right, and I've been going through them all my life.
All right, you're telling
I've
me
been dealing with them all my life.
Okay.
I mean, this building was not supposed to get built. This building was supposed to be 18 stories tall, and it's 68 stories tall.
All right.
I dealt with politicians.
The first debate is Fox, and the top 10 on the polling average are going to get in. So you may very well get into that debate.
All right, fine.
All right, so you're going to be looking at the other 9. Are you going to slash them? Are you going to get up there?
Honestly, Bill, I won't be the nicest. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to slash him, but I'm going to be honest. They don't have it. They're never going to bring this.
So you're going to look Jeb Bush in the eye and you're going to go, common cause of disaster,
well,
you're this and you're that.
I'm not a big fan of Jeb Bush. The last thing we need is another Bush, okay? Believe me. The last thing we need is another Bush.
So you're going to slash and burn.
All of my life, they're all talk, they're no action, and they're totally controlled by their donors and by the lobbyists. This country, if we have another politician that includes Hillary, we have another politician, this country's going down.